Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into a topic that, let's be honest, no homeowner ever wants to deal with, but really, we all should understand it. We're talking about water damage. We're going to break down the entire restoration process, from that initial oh no moment all the way to the final rebuild. So let's get right into it. I want you to picture this. You walk downstairs and you're met with an inch of water covering your entire basement floor, and it's still coming in. That initial panic starts to set in, right? What do you even do first? Who are you supposed to call? What's going to happen to your house? This exact moment is where the pros step in. And trust me, understand your playbook is your absolute best defense. You know, the second that water starts coming in, a clock starts ticking. These first few hours they're so critical. Every single decision that's made right here at the beginning can completely change the final outcome. And it almost always kicks off with something really common, something that could happen in any house. Maybe a supply line to the washing machine just lets go, or your sump pump dies in the middle of a huge rainstorm, or that little leak in the roof you've been meaning to check on finally gives way. What starts as a simple little problem can become a full-blown crisis in literally just a matter of minutes. So why all the rush? Well, it all comes down to this number, 24. In just 24 to 48 hours, mold spores, which, by the way, are pretty much always floating around in the air, can find that damp drywall or wood and start to grow. And just like that, a water problem has turned into a potential health problem. It happens that fast. This really spells it out, doesn't it? You're basically fighting a war on two fronts. First, you've got the immediate physical damage to your house. Drywall turning to mush, hardwood floors starting to warp, insulation getting completely ruined. And at the same time, you've got this hidden enemy, this biological threat of mold. A true professional response has to take down both of them. Okay, so let's get into how the pros actually start their assessment. And you might be surprised to hear this, but the very first thing they do is figure out what kind of water they're dealing with. Because believe it or not, it changes absolutely everything. So there's an industry standard for this from a group called the IICRC, and they break it down into three categories. You've got Category 1, which is clean water. Think a broken water supply line. Then there's Category 2, or gray water. This stuff is a bit contaminated, like an overflow from your dishwasher. And then you have Category 3, black water, which is the really nasty stuff, like sewage. And this right here shows you why that matters so much. The difference in risk is just huge. A burst pipe with clean water? That's a Category 1 situation. The water is sanitary, and you can often save a lot of the materials. But a sewage backup? That's a Category 3 biohazard. We're talking full protective gear and a much more aggressive strategy for removing and disposing of everything it touched. So once all that obvious standing water is gone, that's when the real science begins. And honestly, this is what separates a professional restoration company from, a guy with a shop vac. It's not about getting rid of the water you can see. It's all about getting rid of the moisture you can't see. Yeah, and this quote just nails the whole challenge. That water soaks into the drywall, it gets pulled up into the wood studs, it gets trapped under your flooring and inside the walls. So just because the top of the carpet feels dry to the touch, that doesn't mean the structure underneath it is safe. And this is so cool, it shows you the actual scientific method they use. First, they use tools like thermal cameras to literally map out where all the hidden moisture is. Then, they set up these huge, powerful air movers and commercial dehumidifiers to create an environment that just pulls all that trapped moisture right out of the building materials and into the air. And they don't just guess. They take readings every single day with moisture meters to track the progress. See, this isn't about what feels dry. The whole process is about hitting a specific, measurable target. The industry standard, it's called the IICRC S500, says that building materials, like wood, have to be brought down to a moisture content of 15% or less. Hitting that number is how you know for sure that the structure is stable again and that you've eliminated any chance for mold to grow. And only when those scientific readings confirm that everything is officially certifiably bone dry, only then can the next phase really begin, the part where you finally start putting your home back together. So how long does all this take? Well, for most water damage situations in a home, the drying part itself usually takes about 3 to 5 days. It all kicks off with that emergency response on day 1, then you have a few days of all the equipment running and daily monitoring, and it all wraps up with one final moisture check before they pack up all the gear. But wait, before anyone starts hanging new drywall, there are a few more crucial steps. All the affected surfaces get a deep cleaning and are sanitized to kill off any lingering bacteria. A lot of times, they'll apply an antimicrobial agent as a final shield against future molds. And of course, any materials that just couldn't be saved, like soggy insulation or carpet padding, have to be removed and thrown out. Okay, so we've walked through the whole professional process from start to finish. Now let's switch gears and talk about the key things you need to know as a homeowner if you're ever in this stressful situation. Ah, yes, the million-dollar question, isn't it? The answer, which can be super frustrating, is always, it depends. But what it usually depends on is one critical factor: where the water came from. So here's the general rule of thumb. Your standard homeowner's policy is designed to cover damage that is sudden and accidental. A pipe that just bursts out of nowhere or a dishwasher hose that suddenly fails. What it almost never covers is damage from slow, gradual leaks that you didn't fix. Or, and this is a big one, flooding that comes from rising groundwater outside. For that, you need a totally separate flood insurance policy. It's also super helpful to know the lingo the pros use. Think about it like this. Mitigation is the emergency response. It's like first aid for your house. The goal is to stop the bleeding, get the water out, and prevent any more damage from happening. Restoration, on the other hand, is the healing process. That's the actual repair and rebuilding work that gets your home back to the way it was before. So, if you find yourself needing to hire one of these companies, what should you look for? Well, number one, without a doubt, is IICRC certification. That's the gold standard in this industry. You also want to make sure they're available 24/7, because these things never happen at convenient times, and you need to verify that they will provide all the detailed reports and documentation your insurance company is going to demand. And let's wrap up with this final thought. When all the trucks are gone and your house looks normal again, how do you really know the job was done right? How can you be sure there isn't moisture still trapped in a wall somewhere? The answer, really, is in the data. A top-tier professional won't just tell you it's dry. They'll show you the proof, the final moisture meter readings, the thermal images, giving you that peace of mind that no nasty surprises are going to pop up months down the road.